Hello and welcome to another episode of The 72 Show, a brand new YouTube show brought to you by The 72, the world's largest dedicated EFL website. And it's been another busy week in the EFL, plenty of transfers going through, but perhaps the biggest story of the week is at Derby County. Now, Derby have been placed under a new transfer embargo by the EFL, and it's led to a bit of an uproar on social media among Derby County supporters who feel their club's being treated unfairly. But coinciding with all of that is Rafa Benitez's exit from Everton, and it's led to more reports linking Wayne Rooney to the Goodison Park job. So do we think Wayne Rooney will leave Derby County this month?
Personally, no. I can't see Everton wanting him, to be fair. I feel as if it's an easy link because he's from the city. He played for Everton as a kid, but it's not what Everton need right now. Like, they need someone who not even experienced, just some fresh ideas. And I'm not saying Rooney doesn't have that, but he's been chucked in the deep end of the relegation threatened side. You know, you can't get your ideologies across. It's just about pressure after pressure, game after game, just getting through it. And Everton just need to be a bit more smarter. Like, Rafa Benitez, he's a dinosaur. Like, he is. I know the Newcastle fans love him, but you know, you saw then he was so defensive, and then he's gone to Everton, been given to be fair, the money hasn't actually really been there for him, but he's got an expensive squad, and they're still just so negative. And I just think Everton need fresh ideas. They need someone who can come in and just completely turn the club around. And I don't think Rooney is that guy. To be fair, would Rooney go now? I mean, I know it's a massive step up, but I feel as if he's really made a connection with the Derby supporters and the Derby as a city or county or town. What is it?
Derby County. I mean, I can't even tell you if it's a city or a town, but Wayne Rooney at Derby County. I mean, he did okay last season, didn't he? He kept them in the league, which ultimately was the aim, but he had kind of spells of good form and bad form. This season, they've been flying recently, haven't they? They've come off the bottom of the table, which in itself is a massive achievement. But will he go to Everton this month? I don't think so. Will he go to Everton in the future? Maybe. I think Wayne Rooney has been so loyal to the club this season that I think he'll see out this season at least. I don't think any Derby County supporters would blame him if he left today or tomorrow. But at the end of this season, if nothing's sorted at Derby County, if they go down to League One as well, I don't think there'll be much of a future for Rooney at Derby County. But having said that, I think he's proven himself to be one of the best up-and-coming managers in the Championship. And links to Everton, there seems to be this kind of, it's almost like an obsession in it with bringing in someone who's got a connection to the club, and it's worked in some cases, it hasn't in others. For Everton, I mean, they're not an EFL club, are we? So we don't really care. But yeah, they just need to kind of sort it out, don't they? They've been backtracking for a few years. But on from Wayne Rooney onto another striker in BRERETON DIAZ. Do we think he'll stay in England, or do we think he'll move to somewhere like Spain? I mean, he's been linked to Real Madrid, Barcelona, Sevilla this month, and in the Premier League has been linked to teams like Breyton, Leeds, Southampton, Newcastle, and West Ham as well. So, BRERETON DIAZ, should he stay or should he go?
Probably, if I'm him, I'm probably moving on. I think I'm kind of cashing my chips in. No, I'm not saying it's only a one season wonder. I'm just saying, like, I don't know what the future holds. If he can get a good move now to the Premier League, to be fair, Blackburn, I really, really fancy Blackburn to go up anyway. I think they'll go up in the playoffs. So I think it'll be Premier League football next season anyway, unless, of course, he goes to the Spanish side, like you said. But he's an exciting player, and I think we spoke about last week on the, when we done the team of the season. He's just got everything about him. It's not just his output; it's his whole game. It's superb, and I think he'll benefit from playing in the Premier League team, being able to stretch play a bit more. It will be an exciting move. I think if I'm him, well, Newcastle's just got Chris Wood. West Ham, they probably could do with the striker. Antonio seems to have them patches where he'll get a hat-trick 1 week, 4 goals next week, then a brace, and then he'll go on a dry spell. I think at West Ham he'd actually be really good because, the London Stadium, whenever I watch their games, it just seem open, and that suits him to a T.
Yeah, I mean, he's a quality striker, isn't he? I still think, everyone's talking about him going to teams like Real Madrid and Barcelona. He's had one good season in the Championship, and don't get me wrong, he's been quality this season. I think he's a really kind of old-fashioned striker, but in a good way, obviously, in that he's always in and around the box. He's not trying to do anything fancy. He doesn't score like the fanciest goals, but he scores a variety of goals, and I think he is a quality striker. Should he stay in England? Should he go abroad? I mean, it's down to him, really, isn't it? Now that he's in the Chile side, you might think that he'd want to go to Spain, learn that language, and build a kind of bigger connection with the Chile national side. It's kind of all down to him, but I think the world's is at his feet, isn't it? The footballing world's at his feet. So I think he'll see out the season with Blackburn. They obviously have a 1-year option in that deal, don't they? So, yeah, it's a tricky one. I think the best thing for him at the moment is to just keep on playing his football for Blackburn. So another striker, it's like the striker show today, isn't it? Jermain Defoe, released last week, by Rangers, and he's been tipped with a return to the Stadium of Light. Now he's come out and said, reports are claiming that he said that he would be open to a move to Sunderland, and that Sunderland have spoken with him. As a Sunderland fan, do you think that's a good move? Would you like to see him back at the club?
I don't think there's a Sunderland fan that wouldn't. I can't see it happening. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I'm thinking it's too good to be true. And Sunderland fans, when you get their hopes up, normally get let down. We've had nothing to shout about or be excited about for a good while now. So I'm just not expecting it. But there's always the chance. I mean, Lee Johnson was asked about it, and I think the quote he said was something like 1,000,001 things would have to fit together for it to happen. Now, if Lee Johnson knew that we weren't getting Defoe and we weren't interested in Defoe, his answer would have been the cliche, look, he's a great athlete, he's a great pro, he's had a great career, but right now isn't the time, we wish him well, blah, 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 blah. At the same time, he's not going to come out and say, yeah, we're after him, we want him, we're trying to get him for a medical, blah, blah, blah. So, to me, if we didn't have a chance, then he'd have ruled it out, but he hasn't ruled it out. And and like I say, he's also not going to get the fans' hopes up. So I think there is definitely interest there. And I mean, the front two of Jermain Defoe and Ross Stewart in League One. Has there ever been better? I'm not sure. Like I say, we don't know what Defoe is still like when it comes to his whole game. I think he could be 60, 70 and still being able to finish. It's just that he's that natural goal scorer, and he's probably one of the most naturally gifted finishers in Premier League history. There's a reason he's got over 150 goals. He knows where to be, he knows how to strike, he knows which corner to go for. He's just clever. He's such a clever player, and there's not many strikers that normally go into management. But for example, he is one that I think will go into management, and it's I suppose testament to his game and the fact that he could play when he's older, because he might have lost it down there, but he's still got up here.
Yeah, definitely. I'd agree with you that Defoe is one of the best kind of natural finishers that those countries ever produced. Like, he's such an underrated striker, even though the numbers are there. Would he be good at Sunderland? I mean, he's been playing with Rangers, and he's 39 years old now?
39.
Up front with Ross Stewart, it'd kind of be like him and Peter Crouch back in the World Cup days.
I think Defoe he'd be more of an impact player, because I can't say he's going to a front. Nathan Broadhead, obviously, he was a striker at Everton's academy. He came here, and I'm not really sure what his role was. It was kind of like a right winger, but he also played a little bit centrally, where I don't think you could ask Defoe to do that job. I don't think you could ask him to be all over. So I think it will be more of a case of, 1-1, 20 minutes to go, get yourself on, and I'm sure if there's a scramble in the box, it will fall to him, and not by chance either.
Yeah, definitely. That could be that could be a role for him at Sunderland. And given all his experience and how loved he is by Sunderland fans, he'd surely have like such a positive impact
Yeah.
off the pitch should he join. He's that kind of player you want in your dressing room. And before we finish, I just wanted to go over a few fixtures coming up in the Championship this weekend. The standout, looking at the fixture list, Nottingham Forest versus Derby at the City Ground. How do you see that one panning out?
I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I live with a Derby fan, so he'll be right up for it. I think it'll be good for Derby just to get a game of football on that they can enjoy. Go get away from the off-field issues for a bit. And, I think that's powerful in the sense that that should be an indicating factor in the way AFL are treating it at the moment. Because when Mel Morris was at Derby and he was sitting in his office and he was doing what he's doing with the accounts, he was signing who he wants, blah, blah, that is a football issue. Mel Morris is now gone. It's no longer a football issue. You're leaving that place, those people, all the staff in a mess. And I think just for once, the EFL just have to use the common sense and just find a common ground. Just do what's right, do what's morally right. And I think Middlesbrough and Wickham as well, the fact that they're going after Derby in these circumstances is just, it's not right. It doesn't sit well with me at all. But like I say, I think it will be good for Derby to turn up to the. It's at the City Ground, isn't it?
At the City Ground, yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be good for them to go and get a good result there and just keep the spirit going because, funny stat, if you have Derby's points now, you add the points deduction that was taken off and you add 17 points, which is what they've lost from losing positions, they'd actually be on 52 points. They'd be top of the league.
Really? Top of the league?
So, like I say, the spirit's there. It just needs to get the off-field issues sorted, go to Nottingham Forest, get 3 points, and hopefully stay up this season because I think everyone's rooting for them.
Yeah, I mean, as a neutral fan, I'd love to see Derby stay up, and I'd hate to see them liquidated. Like, it would be horrible for the Football League. Elsewhere in the Championship on Saturday, 7-side derby, Bristol City versus Cardiff, and then we've got a big game at the bottom of the table, Birmingham City at home to Barnsley. QPR travel to Coventry, Sheffield United host Luton. A big game at the top of the table, Stoke at home to Fulham. How can you see that one going? Do you think Stoke can get one over Fulham? Or Fulham, I mean, they've scored about 13 goals in the last 2 games. A better question would be, how many goals would Fulham score?
Yeah, that's the question now, and it's just a yes or no. Will Mitro get a hat-trick? But then again, Fulham's been having some odd games. They seem to either win by 7 goals or they lose by 1. But no, like I say, every game with Fulham, you look forward to it. Stoke are a bit on a sticky patch. I think they might have won the last game. I feel like they won. I feel like they did win the last game. Hull, did they play Hull?
Let me just have a look. Stoke 2-0 away at Hull.
Yeah. Sean White Phillips' son made his debut.
You're right, Phillips. Yeah, got a lot of praise as well, hasn't he? So
yeah, he played all right. But yeah, before that, Stoke were just on a terrible run. The fans, to be fair, were turned on by Michael O'Neill, which surprised. Well, it's not a surprise because they've, Stoke are a good club. They'll probably want to be up and around the playoffs. Like, that should be an expectation, not a surprise. So they need to kick on, and I feel as if these next 2 months is massive for their season. Stoke and Fulham, to be fair, because obviously with Blackburn, they're not stopping either. I think everyone was just thinking, Fulham and Bournemouth, they're going to cruise it by about 10-15 points, but Blackburn's not making it easy for them.
Yeah, I mean, Blackburn look unstoppable at the minute. They're not playing until they're playing on the 19th, which I believe is tomorrow night away at Hull. That's a big opportunity for them to get 3 points, and then
really good opportunity.
After that, they're at home to Middlesbrough on Saturday. Bournemouth at home to Hull. So we could see a lot of changing at the top of the Championship table. For a bit of comparison, Stoke are 13 points behind Fulham, and they've scored 34 goals less than Fulham this season. So a lot could change in the Championship this weekend, but from us, we'll leave you with a few clips of the week found by our Twitter admin, Adam, and here's the first one. It's Billy Sharp having a go at Derby County fans.
What are you going to do? Hey, Billy.
Classic Billy Sharp, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, he's got a fun relationship with Derby fans. I don't know what. I know that early on in the season, they were singing songs about him constantly and just getting up his back, but nearly broke out.
There's a bit of a strange rivalry. It's less about Sheffield United and Derby County and more about Billy Sharp and Derby County. But anyway, QPR got a win over West Brom in mid. Top man coming in handy there, and also Doncaster Rovers manager Gary McSheffrey wasn't too happy with Wigan Athletic after they brought their own towels to the game to use on long throws. He said this about Towelgate. It's been going.
I'm ranting on a bit. I just think it's to bring as an away team to bring your own towels and spot them around the stadium. Yeah. And the opposite manager not to have a clue about it. I just think it's borderline cheating, isn't it?
Borderline cheating.
Borderline cheating. That's what he said.
So that's everything from us. The 72 show. Join us next week for another show where we'll talk about everything that's happened in the English Football League. As ever, if you've liked the video, drop us a like and give us a subscribe.